Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to the NFL offseason, you know that things are heating up in a way we haven't seen in a while, especially for the Atlanta Falcons. But today, we're not just talking about some minor roster moves or draft rumors. No, what's really catching everyone's attention is a potential blockbuster trade that could reshape the NFC South and give the Falcons a serious edge heading into 2025. And trust me, this is something you don't want to miss, because it involves a player who has been a dominant force on the defensive line, Trey Hendrickson. Imagine this for a moment. A player like Hendrickson, who has established himself as one of the premier pass rushers in the league over the past few seasons, potentially joining the Falcons. The buzz is real, and it all started with a report from Adam Schefter, one of the most reliable insiders in the NFL. According to him, the Cincinnati Bengals have taken the rare step of granting Trey Hendrickson permission to seek a trade. That's right. For the first time in recent memory, a team is openly allowing a star player to explore his options, signaling that Hendrickson might be on the move very soon. What makes this story even more compelling is Hendrickson himself. The guy has been nothing short of spectacular these past 2 seasons. Just look at his numbers. In 2023 and 2024 combined, he racked up an astonishing 17.5 sacks. That's not just good, that's elite. Last year, he led the entire league in sacks, earning himself a well-deserved spot as an NFL All-Pro. And if we go even further back, Hendrickson has been remarkably consistent. Over the last 5 seasons, he's had over 13.5 sacks in 4 of them. That kind of production is rare, especially for a player who's now 30 years old. Yet, despite his age, Hendrickson remains a game-changer on the defensive side. But why would the Bengals even consider trading him? Well, that's where things get interesting. Cincinnati finds itself in a tricky spot financially. They have 2 young superstars, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, both of whom are shining bright and are still on their rookie contracts or relatively affordable deals. But Hendrickson, being 30, is approaching free agency in 2026, and the Bengals are unlikely to be able to keep all 3 at once, especially given their salary cap constraints. The team has made it clear they're not interested in giving Hendrickson a new extension at a price that would fit their future plans. So, the veteran pass rusher is exploring his options. And here's where the Falcons come into play. They should be all in on trying to acquire him. Let's talk about the impact Hendrickson could have on Atlanta's defense. Last season, the Falcons struggled quite a bit on that side of the ball. They finished near the bottom in points allowed per game, giving up almost 25 points on average. This is an area that's absolutely crucial if they want to make a serious playoff push. And as we saw last year, their pass rush needs an upgrade. Grady Jarrett, a veteran and a solid player, had only 2.5 sacks last year, and since 2019, he hasn't really hit those double-digit sack numbers that everyone expects from a star defensive lineman. That's a concern. Hendrickson, with his relentless pressure and ability to get to the quarterback, could be the piece that elevates this Falcons defense to a new level. Think about it for a second. Hendrickson is a proven sack artist. Last year alone, he had over 8 sacks, and he's consistently been a double-digit sack guy in recent seasons. His skill set perfectly complements what Atlanta needs. Adding a player like him could provide a much-needed boost to their pass rush, creating more pressure up front, which in turn would help their secondary and overall defensive performance. It could be the difference between a decent defense and a top-tier one, capable of shutting down some of the league's best defenses. Now, what would a trade package look like? Well, considering Hendrickson's value and his age, the Bengals would likely be looking for a solid return. Reports suggest that they might be asking for a second-round pick, maybe the 46th overall selection, plus a late-round pick, perhaps a 7th-rounder. That's a reasonable price for a player of Hendrickson's caliber, especially given his production and the fact that he's a free agent after the 2025 season. The Falcons, with their draft capital and young talent, could definitely swing that deal. And don't forget, this isn't just about adding a solid pass rusher. It's about making a statement. The Falcons have been building a team capable of competing at the highest level, especially on offense with Bijan Robinson, Drake London, and a young quarterback like Desmond Ridder. But defense wins championships, and bringing in a player like Hendrickson could be the missing piece that pushes them over the edge. Imagine Hendrickson rushing from the right side, creating chaos for opposing quarterbacks, while Grady Jarrett and the rest of the line clean up the mess. It's a scenario that could really accelerate Atlanta's playoff aspirations. And speaking of the Falcons' current roster, it's worth noting that their defense had its struggles last year, and improving the pass rush is a top priority. Hendrickson's arrival would instantly make them more formidable. Plus, he's a player who brings leadership and experience, qualities that are invaluable when trying to turn a team around. The Falcons are in a bit of a window right now, with a talented offense and a defense that needs reinforcements. This trade could be exactly what they need to tip the scales in their favor. Of course, it's not just about the immediate impact. Acquiring Hendrickson would send a message to the league that Atlanta is serious about contending. It would also send a message to their division rivals, like the Saints and Panthers, that the Falcons aren't here to just compete, they want to dominate the NFC South. And let's be honest, the NFC South has become more competitive than ever. The Saints are always in the mix, and the Panthers are rebuilding with a lot of young talent. If Atlanta can add a player like Hendrickson, they could leapfrog some of those teams and establish themselves as the team to beat. Now, I know some of you might be wondering about the potential risks. Trading for a 30-year-old pass rusher always comes with questions about longevity and injury concerns. But Hendrickson has been remarkably durable, and his production has remained consistent. Plus, if the Falcons can make this move now, they could have him for at least 2 more seasons at a high level, giving them time to develop their younger players and build a solid defensive core around him. So the big question is, will Atlanta make the move? Given everything we're seeing and hearing, it seems like a no-brainer. The Falcons have the draft capital, the motivation, and the need for a game-changing pass rusher. If they pull this off, it could be a defining moment for their 2025 season and beyond. Fans, I truly believe that this could be one of those moves that propels the Falcons into serious playoff contention and maybe even a deep run in the postseason. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Atlanta Falcons news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Are you excited about the possibility of Hendrickson donning the Falcons' colors? Do you think he's the missing piece that can push this team over the top? Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. Your opinion truly matters to us, and it matters even more to the Falcons organization as they look to turn this offseason into a winning season. Remember, this is just the beginning, and I'll be back very soon with more updates, rumors, and analysis on everything happening with the Atlanta Falcons. So stay tuned, keep the passion alive, and let's see how this story unfolds. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Falcons!